bundles before it gets compressed. So we kind of meter it lightly to get a consistent feedstock to the compression rollers, and they're trimmed off if there's extra material, but the pressure going into the, so we can actually dial in based on how much, with the string and the material, and whether we're using it for insulation or structure, we just dial in what you need, and like I said, get a sketchbook and make your house.
So what kind of commercial applications do we see for StrawJet, which is kind of more what you guys are going to be concerned about? Traditional frame construction, either wood or metal framing. It adds additional rigidity to the wall, so unlike your just normal insulation that you would throw in there. One of the things that we think is really exciting about this for you guys is how cool would it be, instead of having 18-inch interior walls made out of straw in your house that are taking up a lot of your interior space, how cool would it be to have straw walls in your straw bale house? So you can
4-inch walls.
Yeah, 4-inch normal, stick type of thinking walls. You can plaster on it directly, which is really a nice feature, and it's not hazardous. So yeah.
I can tell you something. We as straw builders do a lot of planning with our structures so that we don't have plumbing on the exterior walls, so we keep them out of the bales. And they put them on the interior walls. So what do you do with pipes and wiring and stuff like that?
Well, wiring you can run through it. We actually have some samples that we can run pipe through. It's not quite going to be big enough, I think, for plumbing, for water and so forth. But
it'll take a 1/2-inch pipe right down the core of that quad. If you want to put it in there, you can. You can lay it in between the layers. You got a good
wiring through that and go to town.
Or pre-wire chases.
Yeah.
Wire as you go.
For the frame infill, what stud spacing would you recommend working with?
Well, for our
we don't know.
wall, we used, we just ran the whole, because it's a non-load bearing wall.
Let's talk about straight walls first. Because
I'll be honest with you, that's one of the reasons we came to visit with you guys as well, is to talk about what we're going to do and where we want to experiment with that. There's a lot that needs to be done in that regard to figure out, how do you want to do it. I mean, traditionally, if you wanted, you could just use the same frame, the same studding that you use for, it's traditional insulated wall, and just.
But can you do it without the stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what we just did there. That's an interior non-load bearing wall, but if you frequency it out to 3 frequency, you've got a load bearing wall.
So you can go 10, 12 feet?
Absolutely. We can, the hand-fed machine, we can go all the way up to 16, or as long as our conveyors. You keep adding conveyors, you can just keep making them longer.
No, but you can do a 4-inch wide wall, 12 feet long, 8 feet high with no
Well,
stuff.
and again,
Absolutely, that's not a problem. You're looking at one right there.
I don't like to say things like absolutely until we've tested it, and we could say, oh, this works for sure. I mean, theoretically, yeah, we can do it, and it will work fine.
We're going to bring the engineer in. I'm Paul Ware, I'm the CEO.
They got 6 more back there.
Yeah, we got 8 of them.
One thing to mention here is that depending on how long, if you're just using rice straw, how long the straw is, that really determines how long you can go before you go to another step. So if you've got a long structure, not that anybody's making anything out of tobacco here in the United States, but if you're in Malawi and you have a lot of tobacco, so this thing, 10 to 12 foot long, when you put it in a quad, it will not flex more than 1/4 of an inch. Rice straw, where in typical tobacco cable, and consists of anything from 1 meter to 2 meters high. Only if you're in Malawi, that means it's either chest height to Malawian or head high or reach height to Malawian, because even though they use meters, they don't want to risk. But so it really depends again on what the length of the straw that you've cut is, because of course as you have shorter pieces, then you overlap and you'll get a lot more flex into it too. But
So with rice straw, for example, how far can you go horizontally without vertical stiffening?
I'm going to suggest it's between 5 and 8 feet.
Okay.
And that works well. Yeah, and in a quad there. And that may be just about as far as you need to go before you find a door or some sort of inlet there, but, yeah, possibly. You know, that's,
What the hell is he talking about?
well, it'd be nice, and if you're gonna go 12 feet, you're gonna put something in between there.
A stud or something.
Yeah, and for one thing, you know, the local building inspector, even when he looks at it, says, well, that's not load bearing or anything, but still, they're going to want to see something there. And we have some good examples of what the channel looks like, just for an easy,
Does the channel just fit flush on the outside?
it does. It's just one of those remarkable coincidences
I don't want
that
to.
we've come to depend on.
And a lot of those kind of questions, guys, I mean, I definitely want to take your questions, but I think a lot of those things we can answer a little bit better with the displays and the one-on-ones. We could show you what we're talking about. Yeah.
I have one that has nothing to do with the display or any technical issues at all. Just out of idle curiosity, how did you sew on Malawi?
We'll go into that. I don't want to disrupt it, but I mean, we'll talk about that in just a second. So again, curved walls, we're real excited about them. They're really quick. They're very easy to build with this. One of the things we've been playing with is skips panels, not SIPs panels, skips panels. So structural concrete insulated panels. Right now they use a styrofoam, nasty stuff. So wouldn't it be cool if you could put straw in it? We actually have a couple out there that our buddies, the Heaths, made for us, so that you can put these on and then just cover them with concrete, which is, again, unfortunately, you're looking at a carbon footprint there because you're using concrete, but it is kind of a neat thing. And then also, believe it or not, it makes really good erosion control because you can make these quads and hexes and put them around and go ahead and do that. So let's just talk real quickly. I mean, I don't want to get into, yeah.
Pass this thing around.
Oh yeah, and so you guys know this is a magnesium, it's magnesium oxide, right, Rob?
Right.
Yeah, it's a magnesium oxide encasing we did a little experiment with. We haven't gotten it to a point yet where we can get a whole bunch of it really quick. So, but it kind of gives you guys an idea. You can just play with that.
Magnesium oxide is alkali neutral, so there's a good chance that it'll be a permanent solution for a plaster on cellulose and lignin.
One of the things that, I mean, we could talk about a lot about the StrawJet product, but one of the things that we really believe at StrawJet, and one of the things that we're very adamant about, as I spoke in my first slide there, is social responsibility. So it's great to do this for CASBA and for the industrialized world. It's a little bit more important for us to be able to go and do this other places and to try to help people with deforestation and problems with, you know, what
Burning.
they do with their agricultural product, their waste agricultural
burning,
product.
yeah.
So we did go to Malawi. There's a lot of pictures here and a lot of, basically what I'll tell you is our CEO, Paul Weir, who is also my dad, was up at WSU. He was talking to some people and they said, do you think you could build one of these to